Hello, how's everybody doing today? Well, I hope. Today I got this EVGA GTX 275 card. I was having some issues with it getting hot, and yes, I know this thing is ancient, but I thought I'd make a video on them if you're having some kind of issues with old cards getting hot on you. This one here, it's probably close to 10 years old, so something's telling me it needs a good clean in here, and the thermal paste probably needs to be reapplied. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. Now these are kind of interesting and a little different. These are got a little, I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if I can get it to focus on it. Come on. Got like a little spring on there. I don't know how well you can see that. But yeah, you don't want to lose that spring either. There you go. There you can see it a bit. And there's quite a few of these that have these springs on them. Alright, I think I have all the screws out. That's one thing you want to make sure and double and even triple check that you have every single screw out of the board or out of the bottom of the board, because you don't want to start prying and then find out you had a screw and break it or something. And also look around the sides, the back, the top, make sure there's nothing else you're missing. Up, and then like right here, there's two that I am definitely missing, so I gotta go ahead and take these two out. This top part of the card should separate from the actual board itself. Just go around again one more time, check and make sure I got them all out. Now it is going to be a bit hard to separate because you're going to have the old what do you call it, the old thermal paste is going to be in there, and that's going to be set pretty good, especially on an old card like this. You know, it's 10 years old. It's going to act like glue. So go ahead and separate that. And you got that separated. And then there's one thing you want to watch out for is, see that wire there? You want to make sure that wire, that you don't pull too hard or to pull that wire right out of there. So you want to go and you want to disconnect that. That's the wire that goes to the fan for the card. Now granted, I'm sure every card's different, so but definitely when you're separating them, you know, watch out for wires. And like I said, once you got your wire here disconnected, that's hard to focus in on. It hooks up right there. If I get the camera to focus, there's the wire. And then you got your two halves there. And then you're going to want to clean up all the old thermal paste. Alright, and I like to use or I do use isopropyl alcohol to clean it up, and some coffee filters. And I know this thermal paste, it doesn't look old. That's because it isn't old. I recently had this apart and put it back together just before I did this video, just so I kind of had an idea what I was actually doing. It was the first time I had ever done it. But anyhow, go ahead and clean up your thermal paste. These little gray rubbery things that I'm wiping off now here, these are a thermal conductive pad. You want to make sure you don't take these off and go ahead and reuse them again. So you don't want to scrub them because it is possible to lift them off. And there we got the chip there pretty well cleaned up, and the heat sink all nice and shiny. Now the next thing that you're going to want to do is get to the fan to clean all the gunk and everything out of the fan. And like I said, and I'll say it again, not all of them are going to be exactly the same. Every card is going to be different. As far as, I mean, look at the size of this chip compared to the newer graphics cards nowadays. They're a heck of a lot smaller. This thing is a monster. It's huge. And then the little gray thermal pads that I was talking about, these here, they make contact with each one of these. I don't know exactly what you call them, chipsets, to displace the heat, and that's why they have those pads there. I mean, you could get in here and blow it out from both sides, but if you really want to get to it and clean it well, just look around and you'll find some more screws to take out. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and separate the plastic piece from the metal piece that holds the fan itself. I just have this plastic shroud here. Go ahead and set that off to the side, and then here's your fan. And if it was 10 years old like mine, I'm sure it is good and dusty. So what I went ahead and did was actually took the fan completely off. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Let me see if I can get it to. Yeah, you can see 3 screws down in there. 1 and 2, and the third one over here. So there's 3 screws out, and then voila, there you go. You got the fan itself. That's pretty much all that's to it. Then you go ahead and got to put the thing all back together. Alright, now I got everything cleaned up. It is ready to put back together. So we're just going to do the reverse of what we did to start. So the first thing I'm going to do here is go ahead and attach the fan back on to the heat sink here. Now, next piece I'm going to put back on is the plastic shroud that goes over the fan. So go ahead and pop that back on there. Flip it over. Find where I put the screws and then put them back in. And like I said before, if you have a picture of everything and you took a picture, you can just refer back to the picture to see where, you know, the screws need to go back in then. Alright, got the shroud back on the fan there, and I'm just going to go over the heat sink one last time just to make sure it's clean as I can get it. Don't want to forget to hook back up your fan cable there. Make sure you do that. Otherwise, you're not going to have any fan, and you're really going to have some heating issue problems. Now, this is where it gets controversial. Everybody has their own way of applying thermal paste. I like using the X or the star method, but you do whatever you feel comfortable with. And this one you got to make sure the whole chip is covered with thermal paste, and this thing's huge, so you're going to want to put a good amount of it on, because you're going to need it from edge to edge on this big old chip. And just because this thing's so big, I am going to do the star method if I have enough. Hopefully I got enough thermal paste here. That should do it. Do a little extra. Probably going overboard with this, but oh well. There we go. Don't have too much left. Used quite a bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect the fan back up. And make sure I don't touch that thermal paste to anything. Start smearing it all over. Now I got the fan hooked up. I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. Alright. Now we got that. Turn it over. Put some pressure on it to make sure that thermal compound gets spread around. And then just put all the screws back. Put these back in. Make sure the holes are lined up properly. You don't want to get it started cross-threading. Make sure it gets in there right. I'd recommend on one corner or one side and then do the complete opposite, so that way your board is lined up for the rest of the screws. There you have it. New thermal compound on this old GTX 275. Should be good as new. We did that. Shouldn't have any more issues with overheating. Thanks for watching, and if you got any comments or want to yell at me for anything I did wrong, you know where to leave them, down in the comments, you know, down here somewhere, down below. And thanks for watching, and have yourself a good day.